Our candidates for 2nd District are Robert Hennessy and Dana Mulliken.
Thank you for coming. Ms. Mulliken, would you like to go ahead and start with your introduction?
Sure. I'm Dana Mulliken. I'm so proud of y'all for doing this. Thank you so much. I've been teaching at Warren County High School for 28 years, and so I have to get in teacher mode a lot of times. I can remember the first time I voted at 18, and it was just so powerful. And I've told my kids, my students are always my kids, the power of it and the responsibility of it. But I'll be honest, since I was 18 and I'm 53, I've sort of paid attention to the issues, the big issues, from our national candidates. 2 years ago, I woke up. And in the last 2 years, I have read more bills than I ever have in my life. I have watched Senate hearings. I have had a bill in one hand with a legal dictionary in the other because, I have an English degree, and I'm like, I don't know what this is saying, but this is so important to me. I will never be uninformed again. Never. And so my eyes have been opened. And so I looked at the national level for the last 2 years, and then I started looking at the state. Now, as a teacher, I've always looked at the state and how it affects education. My son has autism, so I'm always looking at disability law and that type thing, so that's important to me as well. But then my focus narrowed to the local level. And I'm going to use an education term because that's what I know. Some of you who have children or grandchildren, you know that they get back a report after the testing and you have below expectations, meet expectations, exceeds expectations. I think Warren County has met expectations. I want to exceed expectations. I want to go more. We need to be more than what we are. We can do more with tourism. We can do more for education. We can do more for roads. I'm just not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with where we are. So it might be change for a little change in my life, in midlife. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Everything she said and then some.
Mr. Hennessy?
Yes, Robert Hennessy here.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You can go ahead and start your introduction.
Right. Robert Hennessy, 2nd District, seeking the position of County Commissioner. One of the things that I'm really excited about, in the Commissioner's race, there are 51 individuals that's seeking that position. And I would dare say there's probably 20 incumbents that's on it. I don't know what the figures are. What's really exciting about that, people like Ms. Mulliken, people like myself, and some of the other candidates I've met throughout the county really have a focus, and the focus is to move the direction of Warren County in a direction that's, I think, an improvement, a direction that we need to scrutinize things a little bit closer. There's certainly budget constraints. It's a concern for every one of us because it affects us all through our contributions through taxes, wheel taxes, and other avenues of revenue that we receive. One of the things about the education system, and Ms. Mulliken doesn't realize this, but I'm certainly an advocate for teachers and for education. There's a lot of exciting things that's going on. At the Montville State Community College level, we have the robotics that's coming into our county. Any positive growth that you see in any county is through education. And that's just one avenue. Secondly, the Applied Technology School. I think the partnership between the high school and those two educational fields is something that we really need to focus on. Spend a lot of attention, to that endeavor, because certainly increase in jobs and positions and better pay to keep our people and our children here in Warren County would certainly be something I would like to see. Both my daughters are not here anymore. They're in different states and different counties, and certainly as a parent, you would like to see that possibility happen. I think the dialect between the city and the county need to be something that needs to be explored. There's power in money, or power in numbers, and I think that's a direction that we need to recognize. And then also, there's a lot of expenses that we're going to have to incur in the county, and we just need to be good stewards of the county and the people. And those are just a few things that I think are critical to Warren County. Thank you.
Thank you. For your first question, what are 3 goals you have for Warren County? Ms. Mulliken?
I totally agree about tourism and working with the city of McMinnville. We have a gold mine here. We live in one of the prettiest places on earth. I don't have time to speak about all this, but I mean, Cumberland Caverns and all the concerts they're doing, our Park Theater. We have 100,000 people who show up at Bonnaroo. I want some of that money. I want some of that money. Of course, our schools, that's safety and infrastructure of our school buildings. And I would love to see our deputies and our teachers have some affordable insurance. I really would.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hennessy?
Well, I would echo that. You can go outside of the county. We've lost so many excellent educators in our system simply because they can go to Coffee County, they can go to Tullahoma, they can go to Cobb County, certainly Rutherford County. And, you're looking at a substantial increase. It's kind of sad that teachers have to spend so much money out of their pockets for supplies, for materials. And let's not forget the valuable asset to our teachers through our teachers' aides. And, a lot of these people are working simply for insurance only. And any teacher will tell you, any educator in any level will certainly tell you how valuable the teachers' aides are. So certainly education would be a goal of mine. The tourism, I think, the city of McMinnville has done a wonderful job with Cumberland Caverns. There's 60,000 people that visit our county. Isha.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. Ms. Mulliken, second question. Do you feel we should increase funding for proposed county projects?
The tax question just keeps coming around. I've looked at the budget as recently as 3 days ago. I've been an English teacher for 28 years. They're like, Dana, don't say the tax word. We need revenue. And so I probably lost a lot of votes, but again, exceeds expectations. And if you haven't had an increase in that long, I honestly don't think that's something to be proud of. But no, I'm not opposed to doing things to increase revenue and using tourism, using that money that could come in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a property tax increase, but my gosh, we need to use social media more for tourism and for promoting our county. We can do things that's inexpensive on our part with great gains. So,
Thank you, Ms. Mulliken. Mr. Hennessy.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's inevitable at some point in time we're going to have to revisit these issues because, just one prime example, and this is just one entity of the government. The jail is going to see 160 more rooms built. There's going to be 10 to 12 additional individuals having to work that new amount of people that's going to come in. It's going to cost about $400,000. And, we need to recognize how are we going to budget that into our existing budget when we're on a shoestring budget as it is and we haven't had a tax increase in 15 years. I'm not saying that the tax increase is inevitable, but in the same token, we have to scrutinize the budget and look at different ways that we can make adjustments and save money.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. Ms. Mulliken, you have 30 seconds for rebuttal.
I think we're on the same page, honestly. I think we're new to this. We're going to have to look at all of the things that's coming in and what we need going out. So I would agree.
Thank you, Ms. Mulliken. Mr. Hennessy.
This is definitely not a national debate, is
It's
it?
not, it's not.
Here, give me a hug.
Thank y'all both.